The Middle East is on the brink of an all-out war after Iran's missile attack against Israel yesterday. The Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to retaliate, saying Tehran will pay. Israel's ground offensive has continued inside Lebanon. The IDF says 8 of its soldiers have been killed in fighting against Hezbollah. Meanwhile, the United Nations has overnight condemned Iran's actions, the US describing the events as a significant escalation.
The raging fires in the Middle East are fast becoming an inferno. I again strongly condemn yesterday's massive missile attack by Iran on Israel. And these attacks, paradoxically, do nothing to support the cause of the Palestinian people or reduce their suffering.
US President Joe Biden says the G7 is against Israeli strikes on Iran's nuclear sites, but vows there will be consequences for Iran.
There are things that have to be done. And obviously, Iran has gone way is way off court. We're going to put together a joint statement. Hasn't been done yet. It'll be done before too long, probably by the time we land. And there's going to be some sanctions imposed on Iran. We'll be discussing with the Israelis what they're going to do, but all 7 of us agree that they have a right to respond.
Well, Alistair Bunkle has been to a school south of Tel Aviv that was hit by at least one Iranian ballistic missile yesterday.
We're in the town of Gadara, which is just south of Tel Aviv, and this was a school that took a direct hit from at least one of the Iranian ballistic missiles last night. You can see how it's blown open a massive hole in the ground in the first floor classrooms. There's a lot of signs of shrapnel as well on the sides and the walls. All morning, people have been here cleaning it up. The headmistress is here as well, inspecting the damage to her school. And if we go inside, just whilst it's clear out here, you can see all the glass on the floor. They've been taking out these massive panes of windows. This school, I should say, is kind of in a campus area of its own, but it's surrounded by apartment blocks. And so the fact that the missile landed in the school when nobody was here meant that there were no casualties. There was a dance class going on, an after-school dance class, but they heard the sirens and they left, and they went to their homes and into their safe rooms. But I mean, it is extraordinary that the missiles didn't hit any of the apartment blocks closer by. Now, there is also an Israeli airbase just on the outskirts of town. And if you look at social media, there's quite a lot of videos that suggest it took a direct strike, direct hit. It could be that the Iranian missiles had been aimed at that airbase, but they missed and they hit this school. We're up on the first floor now, and you can see the clearing up work that's going on. They've been here for a number of hours, but it was a complete mess when we first got here. It's going to take a lot to restore it again. It's just going into the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah, so schools are out now anyway. 181 ballistic missiles fired by Iran at Israel yesterday. The Iranians claim that 90% of them hit their targets. Now, we don't know whether or not that claim is credible and to be believed. The Americans are saying the reverse. They were saying it was a failed attack and most of the missiles were shot down. I mean, by this evidence, some of the missiles did hit, and this is not the only location across Israel where there are reports and images of direct strikes. So Iran, whether or not it had a 90% success rate or not, clearly did get some of its missiles in, and they hit areas, certainly civilian areas, but we're hearing reports of military bases hit as well.